guys has good morning. My name is Justin Avini. Now that the recording is going, we'll make it official. I'm super excited to get on and host with you guys today. We have some powerful people on talking about managing disappointment. This is one of my favorite topics. I'm not going to lie, because somehow naturally I'm pretty good at it. I don't know if I just don't care in a nice way, but I know managing disappointment is something that gets a topic of even comparative realities and seeing other people grow faster or build teams or build businesses, and that can hinder us too. And that's also managing disappointment. So as you guys come in, put a 1 in the chat again, please, if you guys are excited. This has been an inspiring series. We got one more day left. We got tomorrow. And then we got to rock this thing out, man. We got 2 days left in this incentive as well. If you guys are brand new, you know, there's 2 days left for our $50 off incentive as far as the company is concerned. But let's talk about this. So one of my biggest words I want to use today before we get going with some of these amazing speakers, I'm going to get this thing, is basically empathy. And I think one of the biggest things I can share with you is, for me personally, is watching people grow through this and understand what empathy really means. It's almost like nurses, right? Nurses don't quit their jobs every time somebody passes away, or every time a family member comes into the room and just starts chewing them out about, oh man, hold up.
Oh, hello, buddy.
I don't know why this is not me. Anyways, sorry guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Anyways, so back to nurses and their careers, right? They're used to getting negative news, but having to power through it, right? And so that's something I want to talk to you guys about. When you guys have a job, or currently have a job, and maybe there's a situation at work where your customer or your boss, maybe not directly at you, but the situation you're involved in gets upset. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever had that situation where a boss has come to you and was kind of upset about a current situation, or a customer's come to you and had a current situation, and you just kind of feel this weight, right? Well, let's talk about that. Do you push through it, or do you quit your job right then and there? Do you slow down at your actions? Are you allowed to? So this is something I talked to you about today, in the sense of we're literally doing the same thing. So why in this particular business do we do that? Especially when it's something that sets us free, and especially something that builds us up. Does your boss necessarily, and maybe you guys have some great bosses, so I'm not saying every job out there is horrible, but do you have bosses that empower you or lift you up in certain situations? Or do they just kind of beat on you until you fix that current situation and then you move forward? Or do you ever have customers or patients or whatever industry you're in come to you and say, oh, I'm really sorry about that? A lot of times we don't. So in this current business we have, in this current blessing we have, when we're going through these things, we need to really learn how to manage that, because it goes back to comparative realities. You see Susie Joe come in and she's just rocking it out and building this phenomenal business. You don't think she's managing disappointment just at light speed? You don't think she's having people tell her no? So going back to me, I came into this, I was super excited when I started this. I didn't even know what I was getting into. I'll be honest with you, in a light word, I was a little dumb. The only thing I did that was really good is I decided to sign up with Jamil and give it a go. Other than that, I didn't know how to use Facebook. I didn't know how to use technology. I didn't know how to use my phone, a smartphone. I had a flip phone. We could talk about all that stuff. But what I did is I went out and talked to a lot of people, and I started to learn how to manage my disappointment right away. Some of my heavy topics are my families and friends. That'll never work out. You're an idiot for quitting your job. My mom didn't even want to come see what I did because she was so involved in Amway back in the day. You don't think that was hurtful? My dad constantly wanting to, hey, Junior, I'm going to get this thing going just for you. Don't get it going for me, Dad. Get it going for you. And then watching that struggle. You guys are all family here. I'm telling you some personal stuff. My brother, he tried to coach 3 times, and I tried to help him, and he didn't see that. You don't think that's an emotional thing for me? Of course it is. But I got to get out of my own way. I got to break the generational curse. I got to move through these emotions, because when you stall out, it just makes it worse. And what we look for shows up. So I'm going to get out of the way real quick. We got some firecrackers on here. You guys better get out your pens and paper. And we're going to start out with the wonderful Rachel Richards. She's going to come to us with some fire, guys. So make sure you have your pens and paper out. Take notes. Be attentive. And by the way, give your guys selves a round of applause. Put a 4 in the chat for being on 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I forgot to throw that in there. So I'm sorry. Give you guys self a 4 for rocking it out. Rachel, can you come on and rock the house with us, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, today I thought about it, and I really have so many personal stories about disappointment that it would just be too much to unpack. I feel like I've had a lot of practice in that area in my personal life. And as I said the other day, pressure is a privilege. You know, it's a privilege. At the time, nobody wants it. Nobody wants to go through their greatest disappointments. Nobody would electively choose it at the moment, but it's what it does for us. So today I'm not going to share as many personal stories. I really want to talk about our mission and our business, and how disappointment takes us out of the game if we're not really willing to unpack it together. So the first thing is, for me, it goes back to the mission. So take yourself all the way back to the mission with Dr. A, our founder, where he's saying, as the 10th board certified surgeon in the United States, hey, look, it's the emotional mismanagement that's killing our country. Okay, stay there with me for a minute. That's where we start. And so in this business and mission, we admit that. We first admit that for ourselves. And then through that process of saying, yeah, that's me. I show up in life and I blame. I show up in life and I have expectations of other people. I show up in life and I deflect, or I shut down, or I compare. Like, to be able to tell even our clients that come in, right, guys, we see this every day. The client comes in, we've invited them to this space where they can end dieting and they can start to look at why they do what they do and their ability to cope, right? And so they would rather be in your client support page looking at, oh my God, I'm so disappointed because I didn't lose 5 pounds this week, instead of, how did the 50 pounds get on in the first place, right? Emotional mismanagement. So the thing is, the mission itself, the core, is what we're working out here together on this call today. We're not better than our clients. We are a client. We're not really coaches, right? We're guides that are like, I have emotional mismanagement. I'm going to get a healing. Do you want to come? And then if they say yes, we're there to support them along the way and help them to turn into guides. And then that's where the real work starts. So I just really wanted to hit that this morning. We get to practice that here. The greatest disappointments here for you are going to be subtle. They're not going to be the big, ginormous ones where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk about that on a training. It's going to be these little subtleties that could potentially take you out of the game. And that's what I really want to talk about today, that untalked part of, like, man, it's those little subtleties that show up for us every single day that can take us out. Starting with, you're going to find whatever you look for here. Whatever you're looking for here, you will find it. If you want to find an uncommon freedom, you will find an uncommon freedom here. If you want to find a place where you can blame people, or you will find that here too, because that's what you're looking for. If you want to see it bigger, you're going to have to start with yourself. And that's what hit me. I'm sharing with you what hit me was, oh my gosh, look at all these expectations I have in my business. I expect someone that's been an employee for 25 years to come in and act like a CEO. Right away, you're the CEO of your business. Like, come on, let's go. And they're just like, no, I have an employee mindset. I am scared. I don't see it that big. And then we start dragging. What's wrong with them? Why don't they act like the CEO, you know? Well, first of all, where'd you get that idea? So anytime you're disappointed in life, let's think of a client just for context. I want to give you context and color and connection on this topic. Context, a client is like, man, I'm so disappointed. I thought I would have lost more weight by now. You know, I'm really disappointed. First thing, where did you get that idea? Where do we get those ideas from? That we're not going to have any challenges on our health journey, or that when we buy our coaching kit, we're going to hit IPD, and like, where did you get that idea? And so that's the very first thing in being a mature adult, is like going, oh my gosh, I don't know where I got that idea. And it's not realistic, and it's not time tested, and it's not attainable, but I'm holding on to this idea. And now this idea is going to shape how far I go, right? And if I shut down. So I really want to look at that client is, where did you get that idea? And they always say the same thing. So here comes a expectation. Let's unpack it. And then the expectation comes from comparison, because someone else in Nourish lost 9 pounds this week, or your client support page lost 9 pounds this week, and I only lost 2. So the expectation had a comparison, right? And then the comparison created a story. And the story, the narrative that's running in the background, that's the danger in our business. What stories do we tell ourselves? That's what takes us out of the game. It's we say here at Optavia, right? E plus R equals O. There's an event that happens. Then there's your reaction, AKA the story you're telling yourself, and then the outcome. And for me, the thing that has really been hard for me is watching the stories that we tell ourselves get in the way of the true mission and vision that we all said yes to when we bought our kits, you know? So I just wanted to really look at that today. Some of the things that cause me discouragement on a daily basis. This is what I'm just sharing with you, raw and real, on a daily basis. I'm like, why are people playing small? You know, and it frustrates me. Or how come they don't see it big? Or why are they willing to give their employer their heart, soul, lungs, and connective tissue, but they won't give this a chance, right? These are the daily disappointments that if we are placing expectation on another person, we will endure. And I think they can take you out of the game if you don't talk about them with your mentor team. Talk about these things. This is something I wish I would have done, you guys. I wish that I would have tried to sell my chatter and my disappointment to my mentors on almost a daily basis while I was becoming more. I wish that I would just say, can you just hear me out? I just need to like share these things. But instead, unfortunately, I was here to find what I was looking for, and I was still operating in blame, comparison, and I had some gnarly stories that I would tell myself and buy into. And that sucked the energy out of my innovation, ideation, and ability to lead and connect with people. So the thing is, you know, kind of in closing, fastest 5 minutes of my life, is that, you know, take for this month of October, I can't tell you what to do, but this is what I'm going to do. Take all the expectation out. Just take it out. Don't have an expectation, have a goal, but do not place expectations on anyone outside of yourself for this month. And for yourself, invite yourself into our true mission. You're here to personally develop past all of the things that have kept you stuck up to this point. You're not here to drag people to rank. You're not here to get that friend who just doesn't get it, that she needs coaching. If any of your performance is attached to another person, remove it. And you'll find that freedom, and place the expectation on yourself and say, I'm going to be so busy working on the stories I tell myself and the shortcomings I have in my emotional intelligence that I'm not going to have time to blame or drag or coerce anybody. But I'm going to be so on fire. I'm going to light myself on fire on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to talk that real talk. And I'm going to say to people one very clear thing this month. I'm on a journey. I'm healing. Do you want to come? Do you want to connect with the community that I have? You would be mind blown, right? And that's the invitation and that's the mission. And I think it keeps us from some of the greatest disappointments we'll ever face in our business.
Wow, man. I told you this Saturday morning. Glad you guys got up, right? Thank you so much, Rachel. It's so true, man. What stories do we tell ourselves? I mean, we got some good ones. We start making stuff up just not even by just looking at somebody. We got a story already. What the scenario is, what the situation is, what their thoughts are, right? And I honestly go back real quick to simplicity. The lady at the coffee shop just offers people coffee, man. She doesn't care what they say. As silly as that analogy is, she just goes around. Do you want coffee? No. Do you want coffee? Yes. Do you want coffee? No. Do you want, oh my God, boss, 20 people told me no today. I can't come back tomorrow. I just can't do it. And that's a simple thing, but it's the same when people tell you, hey, I want to go big, and they don't. And then you're like, what did I do wrong? I want to do this. And then you blame yourself. Somebody quits, and then you blame yourself. Figure these things out. Thank you so much, Rachel. Put something in the chat that you got away from Rachel right now. I think the making the stories up is so huge, so huge. So Kelly Floyd, are you there? Can you come off and rock the house?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Justin. Thank you. Y'all, has this series laid anyone else open? Like wide open, bare, like stab me in the chest every single day, feeling like people are seeing me naked, like the inner dark parts of me that I don't want anybody to see. Has anybody else felt so freaking convicted this week as they've listened to everybody share so vulnerably? Or just me, right? I have felt so convicted this week. Everybody is telling a story. Everybody is saying the thing that, you know, I've for a long time in my life hidden deep dark down in here so nobody could see those parts of me. And honestly, I've been kicking myself for volunteering to do this disappointment day for a couple of days, because disappointment is something I have avoided in life. Prior to becoming a coach, I was an achiever. Are there any other achievers out there in the audience? People who just achieve. That was me. I achieved at everything and I was really good at everything I did. But guess what? I didn't ever try to achieve at something I wasn't good at. I didn't want to ever fail because I didn't want to be disappointed. I hid from disappointment. I didn't think I could handle it. And then, oh gosh, in 2017, my marriage failed. And I walked through the fire of a disappointment that was grander than anything I'd ever been disappointed about. And I wasn't disappointed in my marriage. I was disappointed in me. I was disappointed that I couldn't make it work. I was disappointed that I failed at my marriage. I didn't give myself any grace, or I was just so freaking disappointed in me. And I thought that I wouldn't come out the other side of that, but I did. And I didn't die. And what happened instead is I grew. And it just so happens that at that point in life, I was also a coach, and I had been playing very small with coaching. I had been dabbling. I had been doing just a little bit, just enough, because I didn't want to be disappointed. I wanted to be good. I wanted people to think that I was doing just what I wanted to do, was being successful at what I wanted to do, but never doing that thing that felt big, that maybe felt unattainable, that maybe felt unachievable. And coaching has handed me my ass. It has been a masterclass in disappointment. If I was afraid of disappointment before, coaching has taught me that disappointment is not going to make me die, because I have been disappointed probably daily, weekly, monthly as I've gone on this journey. I have been disappointed when I put expectations on things, as Rachel just talked about, and a whole leg of my business just walked away. The blink of an eye just walked away. And I was disappointed about that. And I wasn't disappointed in the people who left. I was disappointed in me. You know what I was disappointed in? I was disappointed in trusting that someone else would show up. I was disappointed in letting myself be put out there. I was disappointed in being vulnerable and getting burned. And I've walked that journey over and over and over again. And maybe many of you have too. Maybe some of you felt that way when a client has quit, or your best friend signed up and then walked away and badmouthed you, or when you had coaches walk away without a backward glance that you had poured your heart into. So here's what I want to tell you. Somewhere along the way, I realized that the issue wasn't that people weren't doing what they were supposed to do. It was me needing to learn how to not be attached to the outcomes of others. It was about me not wanting something more than someone else wanted for themselves. It was about me realizing that people were going to be people. It was about me learning that it was okay to not fix things and have control over everything. Any other control freaks out there? That was me. Any other fixers out there? That was me. It was about letting go and letting what would be. You see, coaching is a great teacher if you'll let it be. It can teach you to look at the darkest and most shameful parts of yourself and bring them into the light to be worked on. Didn't Rachel just talk about that? Like, this gives us the opportunity to work on ourselves, to become more. We think it's about coaching clients and helping coaches, but it's about us. It's about us learning to be the best person that we can be. Coaching can do that for you, right? It can teach you to take an honest look in the mirror and create an opportunity to work on the very things staring back at us. It can help us to learn to dream big and be okay if the dream doesn't turn out like we hoped it would. Oftentimes it turns out better. It can help us grow to become the people we never even dreamed it was possible to become. In learning to manage my disappointment, I learned to be happier and healthier. Disappointment was a gift, guys, a teacher. And once I allowed it to be and gave me the tools to help others who struggle in the same way as I have. So what are you going to do with your disappointment? Are you going to let it break you? Are you going to let it make you quit? Are you going to let you walk away? Are you going to let it grow you and forge you into something stronger and even better than you are? The choice is yours, guys.
Dang, man. It's only getting better. Thank you so much, Kelly. Put something in the chat you guys just got away from Kelly. I think it's so powerful, man. And I think about my kids. And when we tell them no, my girl, Charlotte, I think she's one of the best managing disappointments, because that kid can flash out of it so quick and on to the next thing. And it's so crazy how we're grown into this thought process, right? Your kid will ask you 50, 60, 70 times. If you say something, they're on to the next 5-10 minutes later. Yes, sometimes they cry for a little while, I'm not going to lie. But how fast do your kids grow out of it, man? Look at where we're at as adults. We got to work this thing backwards and understand that it doesn't have to be so long, because we're only here for so long, guys. So if you get overwhelmed into these things and a disappointment takes you 4, 6, 8 months to get over, times 3 or 4 of them, let's just say, not even 10 or 12 of them, you get consumed by these things. But the faster we shift out of that and look for the better stories, it becomes amazing. Right? So I'm super excited to bring on this next guest. Joy Avini, are you there? Come on off and rock the house.
I am here. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for jumping on at 6 a.m. Pacific Coast time on a Saturday. I can't imagine starting my day any other way than with all of you. So I wanted to share that yesterday, my daughter woke up and she said, "Mom, you know what? I have a tummy ache. I want to stay home from school." And I said, "Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely." Put her on the couch, got some blankets, got the cat and the dog. I said, "Honey, you relax. Let me take Diego to school. And when I come back, let's watch a movie." And so, as I've shared, I have 14-year-old twins that started high school. And they're the first time that they're in 2 different schools. They've always been in the same school, different classes, but they've always been in the same school. So, okay, 2 schools. And so every day looks like, because I'm driving to 2 different schools, it takes roughly in the morning 2 hours for drop off and 2 hours in the afternoon. Now, I'm not 2 hours stuck in traffic, but I'm enjoying the drive because I'm so present. I'm not stressed about getting anywhere because I manage my time, right? I get to control my time. So I take my son to school. And it's just us. So I get that one-on-one, which I love. Sometimes we talk, sometimes he takes a nap. A lot of times we listen to a podcast. We really love sharing history podcasts together. I drop him off. I drive home. and I sit down, I watch a movie, do some work. I always work, always have a power hour in there. Then I go and I grab my son. And a lot of times I'll take him and his friends skateboarding, or we'll drive through Baskin Robbins and they'll get an ice cream. But I'm the mom. I'm the mom now that takes all the kids anywhere they want to go for the parents that maybe don't have the time freedom that I have. It is the best feeling in the world. And yesterday, my kids were sitting on the couch. We had all the animals all over us and we were chatting. And my daughter looked at me and she said, "Mom, are you crying?" And I said, "I'm just so emotional and so thankful that I'm standing here right now, just together and focusing just on the two of you." Because you see, the reason 4 years later that I'm in this scenario is because I didn't let my disappointments distract me from my why. It always boils down to the why, guys. It really, really does. And that why was always there to drive, always to drive. Now, as I've shared before, and I'm going to speak to newer coaches or coaches that are stuck, all right? When I started, it was hard. I came from a very successful career that I loved, but I wanted time freedom. And it was not easy. I didn't even have Facebook. I didn't want to be on social media. I had nothing to share. So I started without an audience. I did a Facebook launch. I made a mistake and deleted the whole thing. So I didn't even have one client from my Facebook launch. It took me a few months to bring on a client. My second and third client were dear friends that got their program and said, "I can't do this." Every day. But when you have expectations, be careful with the word expectations. It's just something I'm going to share with you. But every day I did. I was like, oh my gosh, but I kept going, okay, let's keep going. But I wanted something that really, really helped me. It was almost like I had the disappointment and then I had something that canceled it out. And if this can help at least one person, it literally saved me. So when I had a disappointment, and it could be little, but it wasn't little in the beginning, guys. A premiere cancellation, oh geez, what did I do wrong? Friends talking about me, starting a business. Believe me, I had a lot of that. Or maybe even missing a rank. I hit senior coach after a very long time of coaching, and then I fell out of senior coach. So when I had a disappointment, I immediately got into action. And it didn't have to be crazy action. It was, I ran to my computer and I watched a personal development. I watched Les Brown, or I watched Mel Robbins. Or I would pick up the phone and follow up on a health assessment. Or I would post my fur baby on social media. I always got into action immediately. Immediately. I didn't go for a walk. I didn't leave my computer. I stayed focused. That really, really helped me. So if that can help anyone on here, that helped me daily. I feel that we have such an opportunity here. And we can sit here all day long and tell you, don't feel disappointed, but you know what? It's okay. Feel it, own it, and move on. Don't live in it, right? Dr. A, stop, challenge, choose. Rachel mentioned E+R=O. Own it and just get into action, but it will tie back to that why. And I want you to know, it still blows me away today to be sharing on a training that I have time freedom with my kiddos. And I took Justin and Jamil's faith. I really did, and just got into action and took those disappointments and moved into action. I want to leave you with one quote: the truest, most beautiful life never promises to be an easy one, guys, but doggone it, it's worth it and it's beautiful. All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
Yes, man. You guys, thank you so much, Joy. You guys put something in the chat that you got from that right there. I know you guys see you guys messaging in there, but put one thing you got from what Joy just said. And it's so true, right? The highest mountains aren't the easiest, with the beautiful views aren't the easiest trails, man. We have all these simple, we call them silly for a safe haven, right? We call them silly analogies. I said that earlier today, but it's like that safe haven. So we don't have to do the comparison if we fail. But it's so true, guys. The beautiful views don't have the easiest paths. They really don't. And sometimes we want it, but do we really want it? And so I go back to that word empathy, man. It's so important to understand how to move through these things. So I'm really excited to bring on Miss Priscilla Nelson. Are you there? Come on, girl.
I am here. I'm so happy to be here. I consider it a privilege. And yesterday, Jeff called me. He was at work and he called me, as he sometimes does, in the middle of the day. And he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing okay." And Jamil asked me to share tomorrow on tomorrow's training. And Jeff goes, "Oh, really? Like, cool. What did he ask you to share about?" And I said, "Managing disappointments." And there's this pause, and he's kind of joking. He goes, but kind of not. And he goes, "Oh, like, thanks, Jamil." And it kind of took me back. But then I thought, no, you know what? It's a privilege to do this. And look at the company that I'm with, that I'm sharing with. We all have disappointments. Rachel Richards, Joy Avini, Kelly Floyd, Linda Andrians, we all have disappointments. And I consider this a privilege to share with you guys about my journey, some of my journey and some of my disappointments and what I have learned. Because you know what? I'm a shielder. I am a recovering enabler, trying to shield my daughter from the fact that, there's pain in life, trying to shield coaches on my team that, you know what, this business can be hard sometimes and you will be disappointed. But you know what, shielding, that doesn't do anybody any favors. What does people favors is sharing the triumph about what we're learning to get past those disappointments. So Jamil, thank you for asking me to share this. I think I know why, because you knew I was in a freaking funk. And I was trying to manage some disappointments. And here's what I learned. What happened with me is, over the last month, just kind of a perfect storm with regard to my personal life. My mom has dementia, as many of you know, and she recently had a hospitalization with pneumonia. And it's really been really trying and hard for me, because when I walk in every day when I see her, I wonder, is today going to be the day that she forgets that I'm her daughter? And that's hard. She's our angel. And my brother suffers from mental health and issues, and he's been in decline. We have a cat, 18-year-old cat, that's in renal failure. All these things personally, the perfect storm. What I found was I got in a funk, and that funk started permeating into my business. I love this community. I was disengaged. I got disappointed in, like, I thought I was going to hit global, and I was really close to it and everything. I'm like, but then I didn't hit global when I thought I was going to hit global. And other things happening, like it permeates, it seeps into the business. And so what I have learned is that, you know what, I call myself Positively Priscilla. But it's okay that Positively Priscilla isn't always positive. It's okay. I got to give myself grace. But here is what I have learned. Managing disappointments, it can be a gift if you don't allow yourself to stay in the funk. And what's great about coaching and this gift of coaching is that we learn how to not stay in that funk longer, right? We notice it sooner, and then we know what the antidote is. And sometimes I hate the antidote. It's like, what? I don't feel like freaking doing. I don't feel like doing the work. When I'm in a funk, when I'm managing disappointments, I don't feel like doing the work. But dang it, it's always the antidote, is getting into action, even when we don't feel like it. And disappointment, it also is important to know what it is and where it comes from. So the actual definition of disappointment is sadness or displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. Okay. Now, there are two reasons why often we experience this in our lives. Okay. It's when our expectations are not met, and it's when we depend on other people's actions to make us happy. Okay. So what can I control in that equation? I can't control other people. I can't control, trying to hit global. I can't control what other coaches on our team do. I can't want it more than they want it for themselves, right? So what can I do though? I can manage my own self and do the action to meet the expectations that I have in my business. That's what I can do. So you know what? 2 days ago, I decided enough. This pity party, enough of this pity party. I'm like, I was in this pity party thinking like, well, like I'm always the positive one. Like, who's gonna lift me up? Nah, nah, nah. I was sleeping in, I was showing up in my business, and I thought, no, I'm gonna decide, you know what? Dang it, that antidote. I gotta get into action. 2 days ago, map day, did my map, put down some big goals, expanded my map, did some additional things, sent it to my mentorship team. I put it out there. I'm going against fear and doing a lot of things that I've wanted to do for our team, feeling like I needed to step up, and I put it out in the universe, and I'm starting to get into action. That is the antidote. And I wish I could say, that's not the antidote, but I'm sorry, it is. It just is. Always get into action when you don't feel like it. It's going to help you get out of the funk of disappointments. And then you're going to feel better about yourself and feel more confident in moving forward. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm not trying to shield our team anymore. There are disappointments in life. There are disappointments in business. And guess what? They'll come regardless if you're in action or not. So you might as well manage your own expectations, manage your own action. So I hope this helps, and have a blessed day, everybody.
So good, Priscilla. Thank you so much. You guys put something in the chat you got from Priscilla right now, the antidote, right? That's a huge one. It's so crazy, man. I was just sitting here, and I don't want to take up too much time because we have one more speaker to come on, but I was just sitting here thinking like, when you're younger and you get like that first car, or you got your brand new car and you want to show all your friends and do things. And it was the same thing for this. I think that was one of my biggest struggles. One of my biggest disappointments is I wanted to go share this with my friends. I wanted to go share this with my family. And I was all excited about this new car, and I'm making $3-4 grand a month, and I'm not in a job where I'm getting yelled at every day. And I go to share this with everybody, and it's deflected, right? That's a huge one. But you know what? I got friends texting me now. I've said this on a few calls. You're at a point, you're 8.5 years into this. You just put your blinders on and go. I hit Integrated National without even knowing what that was. Like, that's how in the trenches I was. So if I can empower you guys, if these ladies can empower you guys today, just go, man. I had a friend text me the other day, hey man, some random question. Those weird intros because I haven't talked to you in a while, right? Hey man, how you been? How's Medifast stock? I think that's what he asked me. And he's like, hey, we should hang out, bro. I see you out on your boat down in my area. I'm in Huntington. And it's like all these naysayers, man, if I listened to them, where would I be today? Where would my kids be today? Where would my moving forward and my family's generations be today? Where would yours be today? So we got one more lady to come on and rock the house. I want to bring on Miss Linda. Are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everybody. I'm just in awe of all the speakers, and I'm so honored to be on the same call, sharing my experience after these beautiful ladies. I want to take you guys back 20 years. I was 14. Nobody do the math. 20 years ago, I was 14. So there was a guy in high school named Nicky. Nicky was the most popular guy in school. He had charisma. He had looks. He had all the girls wrapped around his finger. The guys hated him, okay? So Nicky became really close friends with me. For some reason, he came, he sat next to me. He started hanging out with me. And it was weird because I was a fat kid. And I grew up in Germany. And in Germany, there weren't a lot of fat kids. I was like the only foreigner, and I was fat on top of that. So I looked different in many ways, and I sounded very different too. So Nicky's getting very close to me. We're becoming friends. The girls are talking. What's going on there? Why? What's happening? One day he invites me over to his house. You guys, the night before I couldn't sleep, Nicky invited me to his house. Why? I was so excited. I was so nervous. I told my girlfriend, I'm going to his house. I don't know why, but I'm going. So I'm excited. Remember how I said I'm fat, right? So we use public transportation in Germany. And public transportation bus, there are just buses always waiting at the stop. I never ran for the bus, never. I don't run, I walk. If I catch the bus, I catch the bus. If I don't. I never ran in public because I was bullied for running publicly. Guess what happens? We're going to the bus and the bus is standing at the stop and all the students are on this side and this side going different directions. Nikki starts running for the bus. He's running and I'm looking at him and I'm supposed to go to his house, right? So I have to run after Nikki. I take a look around. I'm like, okay, shit, just go for it, Linda. I'm running, you guys, I'm running. I'm like, yeah, I got this, I got this, I got this. A big brick in the middle of the way, I didn't see it. My foot hits it, I fly, boom, I hit the cement on all fours, right here and my knees. Blood, pain, I don't care because all I worried about is embarrassment, okay? After all that, I wanna make a long story short, we go to Nikki's house. I'm like, okay, Linda, don't worry, it's all good, we did it. Go to Nikki's house, gives me a bottle of water, takes out his homework. Okay, let's do homework. Okay, I'm doing homework. I'm doing his homework. And then I'm writing his essay. And I'm doing all of his work. And when I'm done, I went home. And I'm 14 years old, guys. I don't need to tell you what I felt at that moment and how mortified I am of going back to school the next day and telling my girlfriends why I went to Nikki's house. So I learned really early on in my life that Nikki's are gonna be around. Who has a Nikki in their life? You don't? You will have a Nikki. That Nikki is gonna come and try to take advantage of you. It's gonna make you feel bad. You're gonna feel disappointed. But how you react to Nikki is the important thing because Nikki's are gonna be there. I'm telling you now, and you probably have plenty of them in your life because we all had a long journey. But how you react to disappointments like that is how you're gonna be able to survive and thrive and come out of it. When I started coaching, you guys, Henry and I, we have these very close friends. They're actually first cousins with Henry, the husband. We were always together. We were the couples that did everything together. Our kids got along. We were just perfect. Now these two, Alan and Emma, their health started decreasing as Henry and I started program. And we were very loud about it from the beginning. So we started sharing about program and I realized that they're not asking me about program. I said, Linda, they're on my heart. I want to help them. So I went out then I said, Emma, I said, I want to change you and your husband's life. Henry and I, we want to help you. We're so ready to do this. You have no idea what I have and what it can do for you because they also need financial freedom. Linda, why don't you two do you and let us do us? That's what she said to me. And our relationship has not been the same since I offered her program. Now, these people are going to be around, guys. But because she said that to me, that's not a no. That's a not yet. That was 2 years ago. She might be a different person today. And she has followed me along, even though we don't talk. I get once in a while a fire emoji if I look good or if it's a family picture, but I know she's watching. And I have to just tell myself, as long as Jamil says, I eat my food and I talk to people, that's all I need to do. And whoever wants to be on this journey with me, they're going to join me. As Rachel said, I'm healing. Come join me, heal with me. If you're not ready to heal, that's fine. Maybe next year, maybe 2 years ago, but I did my job. I gave you the message that I have something that's going to help you. Now you need to decide when it's your time. And I need to realize that because somebody said no, or because somebody cut me out of their life, because I shared program, that's not on me. That is not on me because I go into things without expectations. I do me. I learned this past 6 months, I do me. And the more I do me, the more I attract people to come with me because I do want those that want to go with me. So my journey is fun. I don't want those that are going to pull me down and criticize me and talk crap. I want those who are going to make my journey amazing and those who are going to change their lives with me. So what I want to ask you guys today is there's going to be so many disappointments still ahead for all of us, and some are going to hurt more than others. Some are going to go really, really, really to the heart, because this is a personal business. We're impacting lives, right? Your coaches are going to fall off and not want to talk to you. Your clients are going to ignore you and go talk shit behind your back. It's part of the business. It's part of growing. It's part of maturing. And I feel like the more as I said, the more I take care of myself, the more good people I attract. So today I want to encourage you guys, deal with these disappointments, find a way. Don't have expectations. We had so many good speakers. They gave us so many good nuggets, how to deal with expectations, how to go into things. It's true, you guys. It's true. You know, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we have the best possible life, and we want to make sure that we grow out of our mistakes and we learn. And this is where it is. So listen to all the speakers, take whatever everybody has to say and use it as fuel to go help more people. That's all I got.
Oh my God, dude. I love it when they say that's all I got. Linda, close this out amazingly, dude. It is so true, man. It is so true. We need to learn to funnel those people out. And that's a scary process, because as we grow, if we decide to and manage those disappointments, people aren't going to want to come with us. And it's a scary road, right? Most successful people have 1 to 2 friends, really successful people close to them, right? But here's the thing, you have your family. You got to worry about your family. I always go back to this last statement. People don't pay your bills, but they can always have all these amazing opinions of what they think you got going on. But it's all about them. It's not about you, right? It's all about them. So we're doing great. I'm going to get you guys out of here a little bit early on your wonderful Saturday with our action steps. One thing I want to do, because this is part of your action steps, is I'm going to open up the gallery view. I want you all to get your phones out, because we're going to take a picture, and one of our action steps is we're going to post on our story again. So here's gallery view. Don't care if you don't got makeup on, if your hat's sideways, we're in pajamas. Let's get that camera out and let's take pictures. Come on, guys. Don't make me start calling you out. Let's go. Phones out. Hair's in a bun. Eyelashes aren't on. Don't matter. Alex, I'm looking at you too. You took a picture. I see it. I see it on point. Des, come on. Duck lips, go. Let's roll. James, no poker faces. All right, brother. Good job. Good job. All right, guys. Everybody good? Can I get a quick thumbs up? Quick thumbs up. And we'll roll through this. All right, all right, all right. So cool. All right, I'll just leave it out like this so you guys can continue to take pictures. So our 5 action steps, and I'll post this with the playback. Gratitude, gratitude. Write down 3 things we are grateful for today. Gratitude. Write down 3 things we are grateful for today. Second one we just did. Post a pic of our community on our story. Post a pic of our community on our story. Going back to the wonderful Rachel Richards, stories that we make up. Put down 5 people today on your list that are challenged for you. Share with them about the journey. Go back to those 5 people that you think in your head are not going to be interested, or they're not going to help you share this. John, he's such a hard head. I don't think he'd be interested in helping me out, or I don't think he'd be interested in the program. And go out and connect with them today. We're on a Saturday, Sunday weekend, guys. Go out today and pick a few random people. Challenge yourself. Pick a few random people wherever you're at. Go above and beyond to be friendly to them and connect with them and build a relationship with 2 to 3 people today, wherever you're at. Grocery store, somebody's getting in an Uber, going somewhere. You're at a friend's birthday party. You don't know this person. Challenge yourself, 2 to 3 people today, to go out of your comfort zone, say hi, get to know them. Jamil tells these stories all the time. He goes to places, he zones around, and he picks that one person sitting by themselves, or he picks that person that he wants to connect with. Let's pick 2 to 3 people today while you're out and about. And then the last one, go live on your newsfeed, Instagram and Facebook, and share what this program has done for you. And when I say program, I don't just mean weight loss, guys. I mean program/business. What has it done for you? Be bold today. You don't need to share dollar signs, but be bold today. What has it done for you? Oh my God, I was able to retire early. Oh my God, I was able to put my kids through private school. Oh my God, I see you, Patrick. Oh my God, I was able to, lose 15, 20 pounds and have better energy. The whole story, guys. 2 to 3 minutes, make it short and sweet. All right, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for being on today, guys. We got you out of here a little bit early. Sorry for the technical difficulties this morning, but let's go rock the house. And we got one day tomorrow to make this thing happen. We'll see you guys bright and early on our Sunday. Talk to you soon. Have a great day, guys.